Mr. James, you are about to finish your visit to Idlib. Can you tell us what have you seen here?
Yes, the two most shocking things I saw were helicopter attacks on a small village using machine guns and missiles, and sustained mortar and artillery attacks on a city of Murad al-Numan. In that city, we observed about 3 nights of continuous shelling. We believe at least 20 civilians were killed. We saw with our own eyes 9 civilian bodies, some just body parts from direct hit on men leaving a mosque or men in the streets. We saw a student killed in the streets, a fruit vendor killed when he was trying to help evacuate wounded. So these were clearly army positions throwing shells and heavy mortars into the heavy civilian population, hitting schools and houses as well. And we saw women and children in makeshift bomb shelters in the bottom of a school for nights in a row, because they were just simply too afraid to be in their homes from about 6 p.m. till the early morning because of the level of shelling. So that was clearly an indication that they're just throwing shells into the city, that they're not targeting FSA or anything. They're just trying to terrorize the population. And it isn't really effective, because as we saw the next day, there was a huge protest, public burial, and the Free Syrian Army appears to be very well supported and trusted in Murad al-Numan. The other thing I mentioned was the helicopter attack. In the early morning, about 4 days ago, we heard helicopters overhead, and for the first time I heard actual firing. And that was shocking because, of course, activists have been saying it for some time, but to actually see the bullet holes in the roof, to see missile holes in the walls, to see a blood trail from a young man, 16-year-old man who was wounded in the leg or in the foot. And this is, again, just a small farming house in a farming village. And this is a helicopter attack. It seems random, but clearly the helicopters know which towns are free, and they know which towns are against the regime. So they just came by and dropped maybe 12 missiles and machine gun fired. And this 16-year-old, his father took him to Aleppo, I was told, Aleppo hospital, and there mysteriously he died. Some local doctors say that there's no way he would have died from the leg wound. They believe that he was killed. He was tortured and killed there. There was some signs that his back was bruised from torture, and other evidence is that his father was arrested. His father didn't come back from Aleppo. So it's a very tragic story of a guy wounded by a helicopter attack, taken to the hospital for treatment, probably killed there, and his father arrested.
And what about the human situation
of the people?
Yeah.
Well, in Idlib, it's you see a lot of men who are displaced from their villages. They're forced out of their villages. Some of them haven't been able to go back to their village for a year, and they're living in other villages. They cannot go back and see their families. There's nothing they can do if the army comes to their homes. You know, if one of their family members is arrested. Literally, their village might be only 4 or 5 kilometers away, but they would have to sneak into their village just to see their families. So,
thank you, Mr. James.
Thank you.